if you could comment on this, what would be, let's say, the 5 elements that have to be included in a genuinely transformed decolonial disciplinal field, something that goes beyond symbolic decolonization? What would those be?
For your field, for African well, it did say it's complicated, but for African literature or for the literatures of English.
I mean, I think it depends whether you're giving us a blank slate to work from or whether you're asking us to be pragmatic and revising what currently exists. Because I think our answers would be very different if we were just allowed to start from nothing.
We should start with the blank slate.
Do you burn
so the harder whiteness?
Yeah, we can dream a little.
Circumstances of your own choosing, what would those circumstances be, and how would you make that history?
I think you would have a department of literatures that would not be literatures in English, so that it would be a massive department, and then the question would be how to organize the study of literature within that department. You would certainly have languages taught in their original language and in translation. And what else? I think there would need to be an emphasis on reorganizing periods, the way that literatures are taught by periods. Like Mũkoma was talking about, the way that Victorian studies has been decolonized. That's great, but it still maintains Victorian studies as like a central organizing period of literature, and it's a reference to an English queen, right? This is a problem. I don't think we should have Victorian studies ultimately in my like blank slate. We'd have to think about history differently and the relationships between various cultures and languages and literary histories, and organize them differently across period, across time. I have another thought too, but somebody else can jump in. I'm sure we have other dreams. Oh, and also but move away from nations, because I think national organizing of literatures is also like part of what contributes to some of the problems, which isn't to say that we can like totally destroy the historical reality of the world being organized by nations, but to problematize and to think very carefully about how national literatures has been part of the damage that has been done to African literature as a category.
Yeah. Should I speak?
Go ahead, yeah.
I mean, I agree with all of that. I mean, I have a huge sort of problem with, the category of literature and then kind of disciplinary silos and things like that. Because when I am teaching in an English lit department or literature department, I'm expected to offer or teach how to close read a text. I find this to be a very tyrannical type of thing. I'd like to think anthropologically or more politically, or, do a survey, or, So if this were a blank slate, I would not engage the concept of a department at all, nor the concept of disciplines. And I know that, in the US, we have those experiments with places like Hampshire College and stuff like that. And I think somehow those need to be, further kind of fine-tuned. And of course, to use Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o's phrase, we have to move the center, right? We have to 100% abolish the tyranny of this British literature, European literature, and all its extremely violent legacy in every possible way, And then I hate the idea of one of the other things we struggle with in our jobs is the idea of core literature versus the other stuff, electives. We are never core. Something I like is never a core class. Post-colonial studies is an elective. Anglophone is an elective. African is an elective, whatever. So, it's just kind of, you have to do away with these cores. You hire people, you hire a whole set of people who do all kinds of things, and they should really be teaching what they want, and the student should design their course of study, Maybe a little too much dreaming.
Well, I don't think you have any. I don't think you have left any dreams for me, actually.
No, you have the language.
Financial
Language.
dream. You need the
Language
money.
is